Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and welcome to a few new changes. So, we've been down for about a week now, and there have been some things happening behind the scenes. I'm sure you'd notice that quite soon. In fact, in this very video, I wanted to showcase our new above the table shoot setup with the unboxing of the Xperia XZ, but Sony only sent us the phone and the micro USB cable, or rather Type C cable in the box. So this isn't technically an unboxing because it's not the retail packaging. And since I can't call this an unboxing technically, here's a quick hands-on with Sony's newest flagship, the Xperia XZ. Let's get started. Let's start with the build. Like most Sony phones, we have a rectangular build here. We've got metal to the back and the sides and keys are made out of plastic. There's also a subtle curve to the edges. Anyway, taking a closer look at the placements, to the front, on top, we've got a notification LED, the NFC chip, we then have a 13 megapixel camera, a earpiece that doubles as a speaker, Sony branding and the sensors. That's followed by a 5.2-inch display and the second speaker resides at the bottom. Talking about the bottom, below that we have a USB Type-C port and the primary microphone. To the right, there's a dedicated shutter key. Man, I love that about Sony phones. I really have no idea why other manufacturers don't seem to adopt it. I do get that Sony isn't doing well, and well, Nokia had a two-stage shutter key and they didn't do well either. Anyway, I wish more manufacturers would put this on their phones. Phones these days tend to have great cameras, and a two-stage shutter key goes a long way, in enhancing the shooting experience. Again, that's just me. So here's a poll. Let me know if you guys love or at least like two-stage shutter keys, if you feel that's something you'd like to see in a phone. I'm just curious. So anyway, moving on. The volume rockers and the power button is also present there. This power button has a fingerprint scanner built in, at least on phones sold outside the United States. Up top, we've got a 3.5mm headphone jack. Yeah, that's there. And then there is a secondary noise cancelling microphone. To the left, we've got a flap, and inside that you find your micro SD and SIM card slots. To the back, we have the 23 megapixel shooter, a laser assist for autofocus, a dedicated IR color sensor, and an LED flash. The Xperia logo can be found below that. Overall, I'm liking the build here. While this might not be the most slimmest phone or even the most compact flagship around, the subtle curve to the sides, the metal to the back, it all feels really nice on hand. And all this comes without sacrificing on the water or dust resistance aspects of the Sony flagships. So this phone here has an IP68 rating. Underneath the hood, the Xperia XZ is powered by the Snapdragon 820 chip. Now that's two sets of Cryo cores clocked at 2.2 and 1.6 GHz each, coupled with an Adreno 530 GPU and 3 gigs of RAM. 3 gigs of RAM. That kind of feels dated or inadequate for a full-priced flagship from a top-tier manufacturer towards the fang end of 2016 especially. Anyway, you also get 64 gigs of onboard storage, and all this is backed up by a 2900 mAh battery. There's support for quick charge, and internationally Sony doesn't seem to provide a quick charger in the box, but at least here in India the Amazon listing shows a special offer, a quick charger. I don't know if this is gonna continue or if it's a limited time offer, but for what it's worth, it's there in the Indian units, at least for now. Moving on, with the XZ, Sony is sticking to a 1080p IPS LCD panel spread over 5.2 inches. This results in a pixel density of 424 pixels per inch. It's also worth mentioning that it's covered by 2.5D Gorilla Glass 4, making for that slight curve of the glass at the edges. This display is quite sharp, colors appear good, and so do the viewing angles. As for the software, the Xperia XZ is running on Android 6 Marshmallow with Sony's Xperia UI on top. This looks quite close to stock. Sony's Xperia launcher even comes with the Google Nav page to the left. The notification pull down again screams stock Android. There's a bunch of bloat included though, but most of this can be disabled. Remember, disabled, not uninstalled. I find it a little easy to forgive given that this phone has support for microSD while coming with 64 gigs of onboard storage. The fingerprint scanner works fast, seems quite quick, definitely feels like a step up from the one I tested on the Z5. Then we get to the camera. Oh, the camera. In case it wasn't obvious till now, I love the two-stage shutter key. And it's not just the two-stage shutter key, the optics here do seem impressive, at least first impressions. The shutter response is quick, object tracking is present and works very well. You get Sony's superior auto mode and even a full-fledged manual mode including shutter and focus controls. And for video, once again, gotta tip my hat to Sony for including 1080p 60 fps right out of the box, no need for a third-party app. That and 5-axis stabilization. The XZ is the first Sony flagship to come with optical image stabilization. And while Sony's taken their time to implement OIS, they've gone all out here. This has 5-axis optical image stabilization. Yes, the same 5-axis technology they've been using on their latest crop of mirrorless cameras. That's present here with the XZ. This means you get some super smooth video and the object tracking also works great here. Just look at the flowers stay in focus as I move the camera around. 4K at 30 fps is available as well, but for some reason it's a separate mode inside the camera. The 23 megapixel rear camera has an f2.0 aperture, uses a 24mm lens and has hybrid autofocus, laser and phase detection. Add to it the 5-axis stabilization, I sure am excited to test this camera out. Our quick samples did turn out great. The 13 megapixel front camera uses a 1x3 inch sensor, has a f2.0 aperture and utilizes a 22mm wide-angle lens. This seems to do a decent job as well. The Xperia XZ is priced around the 50,000 rupee mark here in India, and at that price, I'm happy Sony finally at least put in a real flagship chip instead of the Snapdragon 650 nonsense that we got with the Xperia X. Anyway, is this phone worth the asking price? Is this something you should consider? And are you just gonna see another flagship from Sony in the next 3 months? These are questions, again, I mean the last question I can't really answer, but the other two, these are questions I'll address in the full review after I've spent some quality time using the XZ, and that's gonna take at least 3 to 4 weeks because I'm currently extremely backlogged because, like I said at the start of the video, we were down for over a week now due to the renovations. So anyway guys, if you do want to pick an XZ up, if you don't want to wait for the review and you want to pick one up right now, use my affiliate links, I'll leave them in the description below. And if you do want to wait for the review, make sure you're subscribed to C4E Tech. Again, hit that little red subscribe button below or above or whatever device you're watching it on, wherever it shows. Anyway, that's it. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, vote it down. And for more videos like this, I already asked you to subscribe and now I'm getting redundant. I'm sorry about that. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4E Tech signing off, and you guys have a great day. Bye-bye now.